welcome back to my channel, So Very Domestic. I'm May, and today I'm going to show you how to make a spicy chuck roast with rice and pico, similar to those burrito bowls at Chipotle. Step one, of course, is to prepare your beef. My chuck roast I picked up at Sprouts, and it's a little bit over 2.5 pounds. So I'm going to put that in the bottom of my slow cooker with 2 7-ounce cans of the chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. And I'm also going to add 2 cans worth of water. So I emptied 1 can into the slow cooker, and then I placed the chuck roast on top. Then I emptied the second can on top of the chuck roast, and then I added 2 cans worth of water, so that's about 14 ounces of water. I mixed up a little bit in the can before I put it in, and then I set it on high for 4 hours. Now I'm going to make the pico. This is my super basic pico. You will notice though that there are 2 small jalapenos missing, and that is because I either add them way at the very end, like shortly before we eat them, so that they don't make it too crazy spicy, or I don't include them at all if I'm serving something pretty spicy. So my meat is going to be pretty spicy, so I'm just not going to put jalapenos in this at all. I've got a bunch of organic cilantro, 3 tomatoes in the vine, 1 lime, and I swear I'm not being lazy. This is the only red onion that Sprouts had on their website yesterday. So this is the red onion that I have. It's already chopped, but I'll probably chop it a little bit more. So first I'm going to cut up my tomatoes and cilantro, and I'll use the whole thing. Just for reference, that's about the size that I chop everything. I do a really rough chop of the cilantro. Tomatoes, I don't really like them super chunky, so I cut them a little bit smaller. And then of course the diced red onions I diced a little bit more. And then I just use half a lime, and not even really the whole half lime. I'll throw it in a glass of water and use the rest of it that way. Obviously, if you like things super spicy, go ahead and add a jalapeno or 2, or whatever other kind of peppers you want to add to it to just make it be a little bit spicier. And if you don't like it super spicy, then don't, and chop them obviously according to whatever size you prefer them in your pico. So now we're just going to let this set. I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge for about 3.5 hours. We've got a little over an hour left to go. Let's take a peek at it. You can see like the water and the sauce sort of like simmering in there. So it's cooked, I think, but it's not like shreddable just yet. So I'm actually going to cut it into smaller pieces and put it back in. So I've cut my chuck roast up into smaller pieces, not like itty bitty pieces that'll still shred nicely, but that will shred faster than if I had just left it in as a large piece. If you put this in very early in the day, you could just leave it intact and then shred it when it's time for dinner. I didn't put mine in until a little after 1 o'clock. And so this may not be perfectly tender by 6, but it's the weekend, so if it's not, then we'll just have dinner a little bit later. With 52 minutes left on our second timer, so now this cooked for 4 hours, and then we put on a new timer for 2 hours, so it's been cooking for 5 hours. I've taken everything out and put it onto a cutting board, except of course you can see there's debris, both from the meat breaking down and from those peppers breaking down. Normally when I serve rice, I serve it as a pilaf, but in this case I'm making Indian basmati rice just with a little bit of butter, totally naked without doing anything to it, so that it works kind of as like a cooling agent with the spicy chuck. And over here on my cutting board, I have picked out all the pieces of beef and all of the full pieces of pepper. I will have to go through and scoop out what's left in the crock pot, and I will show you how to do that. So there it is, all chopped up, and all the fat and other pieces of pepper and stuff are over there, and then I'm going to throw this back in the slow cooker for another 10 minutes or so. I also cleaned up the sauce a little by using just a regular strainer like this. And I mean, it's not that the seeds are bad, but unless you're looking for it to be like, it's spicy anyway, but unless you're looking to get mouthfuls of seeds and broken peppers, this is probably the way to go. So now I'm going to put my newly chopped meat back in while the rice continues cooking. I can't believe I almost totally forgot to show you the finished product. But as soon as everything was ready, everybody came in and they were all hungry, so I just started serving right away. Basically, I just put like a bed of basmati rice on the plate, and then I add the spicy chuck on top of that, and then serve it, and then everybody just puts pico on like to their own taste at the table. And I also usually put a scoop or two of plain Greek yogurt on top of mine. Kind of cools it off just enough, makes it a little bit creamy. Sometimes I put avocado on it as well, but definitely pico and usually yogurt. So I hope this video was helpful. If you try this recipe, or if you have your own take on like a spicy chuck, I would love to hear how you make it and how you serve it. If you serve it with rice and pico by themselves like I do, or if you also do some sort of like thing to wrap it in, like I know a lot of people use like soft corn tortillas or burrito tortillas, or like some kind of bready situation like that. I am curious to know how you do that, and of course if you make the recipe, I'd love to hear how it turned out for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to show some support, and if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Thanks, bye!